So DJI just dropped their first wearable camera, the Osmo Nano, and while everyone is asking, how does this stack up against the Insta360 Go cameras, I think that's the wrong question. The real question is, where does this tiny powerhouse fit in DJI's own compact camera family? Because here's the thing, if you've already invested in the DJI ecosystem with cameras like the Pocket 3, the Osmo 360, the Action 5 or 4, then the Nano just might be the missing piece that makes your entire setup more versatile. But it could also be completely redundant. So let's figure out which one it is. And a quick disclosure before we dive in, DJI did send me all of these cameras to test, but they're not paying me to make this video, and they're not telling me what to say. So first, let's talk about what the Nano actually is. This modular design actually is bringing back vibes from the DJI Action 2, if you guys remember that camera. Hey there, we're bringing it back. This is the Osmo Action 2 next to the Osmo Nano. I'm just really curious to see the image quality comparisons between the two because it's been a long time since the Osmo Action 2 came out, but I do miss that modular form factor. Well, it's kind of back in a way because the Nano's camera unit magnetically snaps to this multifunctional vision dock that handles all of your controls, your preview, and even works as a remote control. The tiny camera itself is waterproof down to 10 meters, which is perfect for swimming or water sports, while the dock is splash resistant. And despite its size, this thing packs a punch with its 1/1.3-inch sensor, which is pretty impressive for something this compact. But here's where things really get interesting for DJI users. This thing shoots 4K 120, 10-bit color, and D-Log-M. So this tiny thumb-sized camera is packing more professional features that its competitors by Insta360 don't have. But it'll also do still photos, time-lapses, and hyperlapses. So a few practical things worth noting. You get about 200 minutes of battery life with fast charging with the Nano, and the battery is built in, so be sure to pack a power bank or external battery if you're going to go on longer shoots. Storage-wise, there's built-in memory, plus micro SD card support. The camera also has built-in microphones, and I think it sounds surprisingly good, especially if you're wearing it for chest-mounted POV shots, where it basically acts like a wireless lavalier mic. DJI Osmo Nano and Osmo Action 5 Pro, we are filming with the built-in microphones. I am purposely sitting by a bit of a waterfall, so just to have some noise. It's pretty breezy too, so we've got a standard wind reduction on. Alright, Osmo 360 and DJI Pocket 3. Again, sitting by this little waterfall to introduce some noise. Using the built-in mics for both cameras. This is what it sounds like. Now here's where DJI gets really smart with the Osmo Nano. If you already own something like the DJI Mic 2, or in my case the Mic Mini, or the new Mic 3, they wirelessly connect to the Osmo Nano via Bluetooth. And we've got the DJI Osmo Nano, we've got the DJI Mic Mini wirelessly connected via Bluetooth, and because I had connected it earlier, it automatically connected, which was nice. There was no delay, and I could see the audio levels up top, so that just gives me that visual verification that the mic is connected. And in case you're wondering, the audio quality across DJI devices is virtually the same as long as you're using the same wireless microphone product, and also the setup process is the same. So basically that means that across different cameras, as long as you're using the same microphone, you're going to get the same audio quality and the same audio experience. Plus, all of those magnetic mounts that you've collected for your other DJI cameras will also work with the Osmo Nano camera unit as well as the dock. And again, they work with the Osmo 360 and the Osmo Action camera as well. Also, the menu system of the Osmo Nano is pretty much identical to what you already know from the Osmo Action 5, the Pocket 3, and the Osmo 360. So in that sense, DJI is not just selling you a new camera, they're expanding your existing toolkit. Now, I've been testing out the Nano for a few weeks, and while I'm genuinely impressed, there are a few quirks that you should be aware of. First up, the connection between the camera and the dock can be a little laggy sometimes, especially if the camera is separated from the dock. Now, it's not a deal breaker, but definitely noticeable when you're trying to nail the timing. Also, if you connect a wireless mic and disconnect the camera, you lose your live preview screen entirely. Yeah, just to verify right now, wireless mic is not connected. I have a preview. I'm going to turn on the mic, and yep, once I turn it on, the preview goes away. And when I turn it off, the preview comes back. So, look, none of these are deal breakers. I think they're just little quirks that you find as you're actually field testing this camera. But with all that in mind, let's dive into comparisons with the other DJI compact cameras. But the real question, in my mind anyway, is do you actually need this expansion? So let's start with the obvious comparison. Could the Osmo Nano replace your DJI action camera? So one question that's on my mind, and might be on yours too, is can I replace my Osmo Action 5 Pro or Osmo Action 4 or 3 with the Osmo Nano? And for me personally, I use action cameras to do just this. Like I talk to camera, I vlog with them. So let's do some tests and see. Right now we're using the built-in microphones for both the Osmo Action 5 Pro and the DJI Osmo Nano. I'm super curious to hear how they sound. So I'm standing in front of both cameras. They're side by side. Camera is an arm's length away. Alright, now I've switched, so I'm behind the cameras now. The cameras are maybe like a half arm's length away, so not quite as far away. But this is what it sounds like shooting behind the cameras using those built-in microphones. Lately, I've actually been preferring the built-in mics on the Osmo Action 5 because, yeah, I just feel like they actually perform pretty decently. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I think the Nano actually holds its own surprisingly well. Both of these two cameras can shoot 4K 120, 4K 60. They can both do 10-bit color and D-Log M, but physically, the Osmo Nano is way more discreet. However, the Action 5 does have swappable batteries, and I think it has slightly sharper footage. So if you're doing long shoot days, then I think the Action 5 wins. If you need stealth and POV shots, then the Osmo Nano takes it. So in that sense, the Osmo Nano could replace an Osmo Action camera for many users, especially if discretion matters more than battery swapping. But now, Osmo Nano and the Pocket 3. Here's where things get pretty interesting. The Pocket 3 can give you that cinematic look with its fast aperture, close focus, and gimbal stabilization. So in that sense, this is like your beauty shots camera. Versus the Nano, it's like your fearless POV and wide establishing shot camera that can go places that the fragile Pocket 3 cannot. So check out this sequence. I used both cameras to film these shots. Can you spot the transition points where I switch cameras? The color matching is so good that it's pretty seamless. So these two are better together. The Pocket 3 covers what the Nano can't and vice versa. Now, this is the Osmo 360. So these two are the newest compact cameras in DJI's lineup. And I think the Osmo 360 is the wild card here, because you can shoot in single lens mode to capture pretty similar shots to what you get from an action camera. But the superpower of the 360 camera is being able to shoot 8K 360 video. But here's the thing, 360 shooting gives you infinite framing options in post-production, but that means that it requires a lot more editing time. Versus the Nano, it gives you that set it and forget it simplicity for capturing POV action shots. So if you have time for complex editing workflows, then the Osmo 360 is definitely more versatile. But if you want to capture great POV footage with minimal post-production work, then the Osmo Nano wins. But let's be honest here, most people don't need all four of these cameras. But there are some pretty compelling combinations. For the minimalist only, I'd recommend going with the DJI Osmo Nano, because if you shoot primarily POV content and vlogs, this might be all you need to roll with now. Or the hybrid creator, you could go with the Osmo Nano and the Pocket 3, or the Osmo Action camera and the Pocket 3. And this would cover 90% of your shooting scenarios, from cinematic shots to action shots. Then there's the Osmo 360. So you could use this camera by itself because, again, it shoots 360, you're capturing everything all at once. But you could combine it with the Osmo Nano if you want a super small camera, because the Osmo Nano is definitely a lot smaller than the Osmo 360. Or you could go Osmo 360 and the Pocket 3. Finally, if you're a content creator machine, you could go with all four cameras for maximum flexibility, but also maximum complexity and maximum cost. So, is the DJI Osmo Nano the missing piece in DJI's compact camera puzzle? I think for many creators, the answer is yes, because it fills the wearable POV niche that the rest of these DJI compact cameras don't fill. And it also plays beautifully with some of the existing members of the DJI ecosystem. But here's what I want to know from you. Which DJI camera combination would work best for your content? Are you team one camera does it all, or do you prefer having specialized tools for different jobs? And if you disagree with any of my hot takes, which you probably do, then let's discuss it in the comments down below.